So very excited to have with us marketing expert Elizabeth Pace, and really talking about how our small businesses can get the word out about their hours and all sorts of products that they have, sales they have going on, and not have to spend a fortune doing it. So Elizabeth, with that, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Deanna. So today we're going to talk about some free and very low cost ways for you to get customers back into your store right now, if it's a physical storefront, and gain that client trust back as we are transitioning into phase 1 and eventually into phase 2. So I spoke a couple of months ago about maintaining customer loyalty when the doors are closed. If you were on that call, some of this may sound familiar to you because it's kind of the same stuff in some ways. You just need to continue to communicate. So I have run Yellow Dog Consulting for 9 years. It was named after my first yellow dog. I was named after my first yellow dog, Hank. I now have a yellow lab named Norm and a chocolate lab puppy, Cliff, who graced the chamber board meeting this morning with kisses and a punch in my arm, which was super great. So luckily I was on mute. But I started Yellow Dog Consulting to work with small business owners on their sales and marketing efforts. So really figuring out what are the systems and schedules that you as a small business owner need to be doing. Everybody's a little different. It's not all the same for everyone. I wouldn't make the same recommendations for an introvert and an extrovert. I wouldn't make the same recommendations for somebody with a business downtown as a home-based business. And so it's really about what's the right fit for you. You got into this business to do what you're doing, to make dog biscuits and dog treats. And then you also have to do all this marketing stuff. So that's what I love to do. And a big part of what I do is email marketing. So we will be talking a bit about email marketing today. But I really want to make sure that this is helpful for you. I have 2 younger brothers, so I'm used to being interrupted mid-sentence. So feel free to jump in the chat or just unmute yourself if you have specific questions. If I'm going in a tangent that seems to be completely useless to everybody on the call, just holler me back in. But hopefully we'll talk about some stuff that is helpful for you today. Throughout the last couple of months, I've seen businesses in the last just even few weeks, I've been seeing businesses do some great things of communicating to their customers about what's going on in their business. And so that's really the biggest thing, is that we want to make sure that there's not a perception that your business is closed. I know a lot of people whose businesses are open and it's like, oh, you are? I had no idea. So we want to make sure that people know you're open. And now is the time to over communicate with people about this and what's going on. So we're going to talk about 3 main areas today. If you know me, you know I like 3s. The first thing we're going to talk about is online presence and social media. The second thing we're going to talk about is signage. And the third thing we're going to talk about is, big surprise, a newsletter and email marketing. How does that sound, everyone? Any questions so far? Anything you're hoping that I'll talk about today that you're concerned I'm going to totally ignore? We're doing okay? All right, good. Good. So the first thing, your online presence and using social media in your business. You've got to do it, right? I am the marketing consultant who refuses to join Facebook. You won't find me there. Fun fact about me, I just don't care that much about what's going on with your cat. I will over Instagram my dogs, but anyway, Facebook isn't my jam. And so for me, when I'm talking with business owners, it's really about where is your target market hanging out? And where are you comfortable being and having a presence online? So as we're talking about social media, I'm going to talk about a few different channels, but if you don't use it and it overwhelms you, then just ignore that part of it. But the very first thing and the thing you have to do is Google My Business. So Google My Business, Google is the search engine. We don't use anything else. That's what the majority of America uses, right? And so you need to be set up on Google My Business. If you have one piece of homework from today, it's to go to type in Google My Business. I think it's business.google.com, and make sure that your business is properly set up. They have done a great job with COVID around making sure that are these temporary hours? Are these, COVID hours? I love when I go to the sushi place in Orenco that I love, Yuki, that it says that they have changed hours, and it's like, we're not doing dine-in right now, just takeout. And they give you those options of like what's really going on in the business, which I appreciate. So Google will make sure that you're all properly set up. And they do a good job of coaching you through getting all the different pieces, your logo, a headshot, specials. What they don't do a great job of is reminding and prompting you, but you can post updates whenever you'd like. So if you have a change to your hours, if you have a special or a promotion going on, you can be posting that online. So the first thing you need to do is go to Google My Business, make sure that it says that you're open if you are open, and make sure that your hours and your information is correct. So like Krystal, you moved next door. So making sure that your address is still correct on there would be a good thing to do, and making sure that gets updated. I actually have a better tip for you. I'll share in a couple minutes. On June 2nd, we had Jen McFarland from Women Conquer Business on for a small business solution. And she went really in depth with your online presence and a lot of other great Google tools. So if you're kind of going, okay, I want a little more information about this, instead of me repeating what she said, she did an amazing job. So I would say go to the Chamber's YouTube channel. And I went into double check, and it was on June 2nd. So you can just scroll back down and watch that. And it'll be super helpful. She is also super helpful and a good friend. So feel free to reach out and say, I watched your Chamber thing and I have these 75 questions, but maybe limit it to 2. So the first thing you do is Google My Business. Got it? All right. The second thing you do is, if you have a Facebook business page, is you go to Facebook and you make sure that your hours and your information is all correct and up to date. Making sure that your hours and information is all up to date online is always the right thing to do. So after Google, then go to Facebook. And then if you have a Twitter account, you can post on Twitter. Make sure that you're engaging on Twitter. We are open. You can update your about section. You know, I would include whatever you're doing: curbside pickup, delivery over $25, open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4, whatever your hours are. Make sure you're adding that information, and then engage on a regular basis. So don't just set it and forget it. With Twitter, it's about engagement. So you don't have to write original content. Maybe it's a vendor that you sell in your store that you could retweet something they have going on. Maybe it's something in the community. You know, Krystal, for you, it would be Hillsboro downtown partnership or chamber stuff, maybe city information that might be helpful. Just becoming that resource in the community. And then the final place that I recommend making sure you're all up to date is Instagram. A lot of people use Instagram these days. It's just growing like crazy, especially for consumers. So if you have Instagram and if you are using Instagram well, make sure that you're communicating that. So I know I had a hard time a couple of months ago with a business downtown that was open, but I had a hard time just finding what their hours were because I knew they were weird. So don't make me hunt too hard for your stuff. So making sure that your website is up to date with that information. If there's room in your about section, making sure that that information is in there. We are open for business. Again, same thing as Twitter, right? We're open. We are, our hours are this. We're only offering these specific services right now if things have changed in your business. But making sure that you're getting that up to date. Yeah.
I like that you pointed out, don't make me hunt for your information, because as a consumer, if you're looking far, you're just going to move on, right?
And I absolutely have, right? Don't make me work for this right now. I am so tired and burnt out. Like, just the easier you can make it for your customers, the better. So it's all about the user experience. I think we get into our own head way too much with this stuff. And it's like, well, obviously this is where it should go. And I've had people do that where it's like, well, duh, it's here. And I'm like, I would never think to just type in, your website /COVID. Like, your homepage needs to be like, click here for all our COVID information, and then link me to, like, don't make me work that hard. Like, don't make it hard for me to give you my money, because I don't like giving it away anyway. So don't make it that hard to do. Thank you, Krystal, I appreciate that. So with Instagram, maybe it's a post, and then using your Instagram stories to share different specials and things that are going on. One business that I think does it really well downtown is Darcy over at White Birch, where she goes through like a shelf at a time and shares what different products she has and what specials are going on with that, or just like putting stuff together for you. So think about what packages and things you can be creating that you can share on your social media. For many businesses, you also have a Yelp account set up somewhere because somebody forced you to do it once upon a time. And although I don't have anything nice to say about Yelp, if you have a Yelp page, you should go double check that your hours and information are up to date there, because people do still use it to search for things. And then if you have any industry specific groups that you're a part of or where your information is posted, make sure you're taking time to go online and confirm that. We live in the Pacific Northwest, so some people use Bing Places. I used to live up in the Seattle area where some people were required by their employer to use the world's worst search engine. And so, you may want to double check Bing and see if you have something set up there and make sure that's up to date as well. There is a really cool tool out there called Moz, M-O-Z, Moz Local. Moz is a company out of Seattle that does search engine optimization, SEO. And they have a great local tool. So you can plug in your information about your business and they'll give you like an online presence score. And so they'll say like, here's where stuff is missing online, and they help crawl it out to all the different search engines and directories and stuff. And so, you can always go take a look there to see how your business is being listed online and if there's major discrepancies. And they do have, it used to be $99. I think it's like $129 now. For an annual fee where they just keep that information up to date in one nice, neat place. So that's another great tool for you. So today the tools are Moz Local and of course, Google My Business, which is free because Google makes lots of things free. So, okay, I rambled a lot. How are we doing? I kind of just blew right through that. I realized, sorry. What do we need to recap? That's overwhelming so far. Just all of it? Okay. As I said earlier, when it comes to social media, you don't have to do everything. You know where your customers and your clients are hanging out online. You know where you need to be communicating with them. So maybe you're using TikTok. Maybe you're using LinkedIn to communicate. Maybe these are the places that you are. Like I said, I'm not on Facebook. You're not going to find me there. And so, just making sure that you are communicating online where you need to be. Also make sure that you're checking on your social media regularly. I recommend about 5 minutes a day at least, but you can do it in as little as 5 minutes a day. Just logging on and responding, right? So did somebody ask a question on your Facebook page? Did somebody comment on a post or private message you on Instagram asking, hey, are you open today? Can you make me, I need a cupcake for my dog this weekend, or whatever it might be. So making sure that you're looking regularly, probably a couple times a day in your case, Krystal, or just setting up your alerts to get pinged when that kind of stuff happens. But making sure that you're getting online and that you're communicating as well so that people don't think you're missing. I recommend, especially for small business owners, that you as the business owner are the one to do that, or that a very trusted professional is doing it. A lot of times people go, oh, the teenager, the college student knows social media, they can do it. But they don't understand your brand and your messaging just because they understand the technology of the social media. So just make sure that if you are putting somebody like that involved in charge of it, that they really, really understand your business, if that makes sense. Good. So one of the cool tools that I really like to make sharing stuff on social media easier is something called Canva. It's like Canvas without the S. And it's free to get set up with an account. And you can make all sorts of different fun social media images. You can use your branded colors and your logo, and they have a bunch of free photos and different templates that make it a lot easier for you. And so if you're trying to figure out like, how do I say something fun and pretty when I'm not a graphic designer and I have no idea how to do this? Canva is a great place to start. It's such a handy tool, and there's a lot of really great features with it that the one and only Jen Little is going to teach a hands-on workshop next week about Canva. So that, totally going to be awesome. I know, I'm very excited she's going to do it. So I have taken a different Canva training before, but there's so many cool tools and features that you can use there that I think it'll be really helpful if you're going, I know I need to be doing this, but I don't know, I just don't know how or where to get started, or, it can be overwhelming starting a new tool. So Canva, try Canva as well. Questions about social media and online presence. I know we kind of blew through all that. I feel like we have a pretty savvy crowd here for this. Okay, all right. The second thing I want to talk about is signage, right? Physical, visible signage. This is probably one of the places you may want to invest right now, depending on what your storefront looks like and where you are. So if you have, I think, Krystal, you have a great sandwich board that you can put on the corner there by Bennett's, which is great because then we know that you're open. And so that's an awesome thing if you've got something like that. It may be a sign in the window on the street, or if there's like a reader board at an intersection, doing that. But investing in signage is one of the few places I would say when it comes to marketing right now, spend a little bit of money if you don't have something that clearly lets people know when they're driving down the street that you're open. Digital signage in your website, making sure that your homepage very clearly states that you're open and what's going on and what you are doing right now as a response to COVID. So are you just doing curbside pickup, private shopping, deliveries, online orders? What has changed in your business? What preventative measures are you taking? But making sure that you have all that information clearly and easily available on your website if you need to have that is really, really helpful right now. I think the one thing I will push the most today, besides making sure Google My Business is all squared away, is over communicating and oversharing. Like, don't overshare that you're sick and tired of your teenager. We get it. But overshare, like, this is everything that we are doing to make it safe for you to walk in the door. Make me comfortable before I even leave the house, that I know I'm going to be safe. I don't have to worry about anybody coughing in my face. I know I'm not allowed to cough in anybody's face, because I'm just not an a-hole, but over communicating is going to be really key here. So making sure whatever that looks like on your website, but it's going to be helpful to do that. And that may also need to be shared. I would also share that on social media. Maybe it's just a link to that. Hey guys, we have some updates on COVID and what we're doing to make sure the space is safe. And here's how we're handling that at our location or in our business. So make sure you want.
I just wanted to step in and businesses obviously are having to put up a lot of required signage that guidelines and things like that. I would just suggest that you make several copies of those so that you can change them out because they will start looking rough, and that's sort of the entryway to your business. And I know the Chamber's been providing some of the signage to businesses and getting it more heavier paper, higher quality printing, because that's your front door. And it's unfortunate that you have to have all of that up there because it sometimes is, difficult to even figure out what you're supposed to look at. But I would suggest, putting it out there and then walk in the door yourself and sort of act like a customer. What are they going to see? What are they going to feel when they walk in that door? And are they going to understand what the protocols are for your business? Is it clear enough? Totally.
Yeah. And that was perfect, because it is that making sure your door has signage too, right? Just simple, straightforward, all the required signage that you need, and just making sure that you have that foot traffic signage that's easily for people as they're walking by to know, no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service, or whatever it needs to be. These are our hours. If you're not comfortable coming in, you can wait right here. We're only allowing, a lot of stores I see are 5 people at a time. I went, you notice that I'm a bit of a nerd from my office. And so I went to my comic book shop last week, and they had a sign that said only 5 customers at a time. And so I opened the door and they were like, you're good. And there was like one guy checking out, and there were a couple other guys in there, and more women should be reading comic books. As a different topic for a different day, but it was nice that it was just really clear right there. Like, that's how many people can be in the store right now. Thanks for wearing a mask. So it was just really straightforward. So making sure you include that. and including, and I've said this before and I will say it again, all your additional options, right? How else can, if people aren't comfortable walking in the store, maybe they walk through and it's a Saturday and it's busy, and there's some stuff going on, or they walk through and you've just, it's a Monday afternoon and you're closed, but they go, oh, okay, cool. I can call and order and do curbside pickup. I can do delivery. They might look in the window, see something, and want to, contact you later when they get home to do that. So making sure that you're sharing all of those things. Questions about signage? Questions about communication on your website? All right, we are blowing right through this. I hope you have a lot of great questions. So the final thing I want to talk about when it comes to marketing on a shoestring is an email newsletter. Email newsletters are the greatest marketing tool, mostly because it's free. So MailChimp is free for up to 2,000 email addresses. So as a small business starting out, you can set up a free account, send free emails to and grow your list. You can do a welcome automated email that says, here's X% off your first order, or here's an introductory whatever, or some sort of download on your site to give people a flavor of what you do. But an email newsletter is a great way to be communicating and getting your name in their inbox. One thing I have been preaching for my 9 years of Yellow Dog Consulting is that email is a way to communicate with your network when you're not selling them something. And the reason that you've been building that goodwill for so long is so right now, when everything has changed, people are ready to hear from you and give you their money. So make it easy. Again, make it easy for them to give you their money. So what's going on in your business? Oversharing is key. The places that I have been most comfortable returning to are my massage therapist and my gym. And that seems really weird, right? The gym that I go to is a small gym. They only allow 10 people in a class. And so they have wildly over communicated down to the bathroom is closed, please pee before you come. It's a 40-minute class. If there's an emergency, it'll be okay, but, please do your best. The changing room is closed. So please come dressed for class. Please bring only the bare minimum into the room. Please wear a mask when you walk in the door, go straight to your machine. During the workout, you can take your mask off or maybe move it down if you need help because it's a really hard workout. And then as soon as the class is over, put your mask back on again. And you are 6 feet, when you're both on your machines, you're 6 feet apart. So everybody's safe and distant. But that made it really comfortable and easy for me to go back because I knew exactly what was expected. I knew they shared about their cleaning regimen and what was going on and what we were doing to clean as customers as well. My massage therapist, similarly, she said, you know what, actually don't wear a mask. I'm going to give you a disposable mask and you're going to wear a mask for your entire massage. And I'm going to wear a mask for your entire massage. And here, I'm going to take your temperature. And I took my temperature this morning. And, she did a great job of over communicating and oversharing everything that they're doing, especially in those high touch personal services where you are closer and more intimate with somebody. It's really nice to know exactly what they're doing to keep themselves safe and you safe. And I really appreciated that. So the more you can be over communicating those things, the better. So it's this, what are you doing for your staff? What are they doing to stay safe? What are you doing? Do you have bathrooms that you need to share information about? What are you doing for customer safety? We're only allowing X amount of people in the store at a time so that we can have X amount of employees. Their, hands are as dry as yours are from all the hand sanitizer. This is the social distancing that we're practicing. These are the things that we're doing in our business to make it safe and comfortable for you to come in the door. Make sure, so as you're over communicating that, as you're reopening, something else you should be communicating is something I've said a few times before is what are your new and different offerings? And this is something that hopefully you've been telling them about for a few months. So don't forget that we do still offer, Krystal, it's like free delivery over $25 per pumpernickel. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Glad I didn't undersell that one. Sorry. Good. I thought that's what I paid. So, it's making sure people know that those options are available. Some people are still concerned about going out, but do want to support businesses. So what can they do to be able to do that? How can they work with you and keep it safe, right? As a photographer, can you keep 6 feet of different, 6 feet apart to get your family photos done, or new business headshots because you've been spending more time outside with your dogs, and so you have a nice summer glow and it's time to refresh those headshots, whatever it might be. What kinds of things are going on that you need to be communicating with? Also make sure that you're, if you do appointments or scheduling in your business, so like my massage therapist is a good example of that. Anytime you can give them a form that they fill out online in advance. Our gym had a new waiver that we all had to sign before we went to a class. My massage therapist had a form we had to fill out. She posted her waiver on her website as well. So people who really wanted to know like what all was included could feel really comfortable knowing like, this is everything she's done. These are all the steps she's taken. And so it's just so about over communicating right now, and not overwhelming, but informing, right? Because the more you look like, you're taking this seriously, the more comfortable it is for people to walk in the door for you. So the final thing, when it comes to, there's 2 more things I want to talk about with newsletters. One is those personalized groups. So there's different groups of people you may need to be talking to a little differently. So if you have current clients or customers that you talk to on a regular basis, letting them know what's changed, people that you see regularly. So is there something specific you need to tell to current clients? If there's something specific you need to talk to past clients about, hey, we haven't worked together in a year, but I wanted to let you know this is what's going on right now. Early on, end of March, early April, I emailed every client I was not currently working with, but had worked with over the past year, and offered just a free 30-minute check-in call, and just said, we've worked together before and we put together some marketing plans that may be totally out the window now. So if you'd like to, jump on Zoom for 30 minutes and just see what we need to adjust, that would be great. So Kimberlyn asked a great question. In the over communicating, how do you balance not flooding the message with jargon? That is a great question. It's really, I would look at other examples of what people are saying and doing. And it's really about being as clear and straightforward as possible. So I had one of my clients is a winery, and it was just like this laundry list of things you can't do when you come. So you have to schedule an appointment. You're going to be like, it's a private seated, tasting. You're not doing a tasting. It's just glass pours. It's 90 minutes because we have to clean up. We have hand sanitizer. If you need to go to the bathroom, you have to wear a mask to come inside to use our bathroom. And so it's about kind of organizing and communicating it. I'm seeing a lot of bullet points based on, here's what we're doing, here's what you as the client or customer needs to do, and here's some other things you may need to know about what's going on. It's finding a way to clearly communicate it without overwhelming, which is going to be the hardest part of all this, but also that the overwhelm is sort of okay right now in some ways. So I would say organization is going to be the key to all of that. Hopefully that helps. The other thing, when we're talking about different groups that you're talking to, are prospects that haven't closed. So maybe there were some people you were talking to in Q1 about working together that then everything shut down, and now that things are starting to reopen, and that you can reopen in phase 2. And so here's just letting them know, here's what I've got working on right now. And when you're ready, if things have not changed, if you're ready to work together again, let's go. Like, here's what I'm doing to get ready for that. And another place you may want to consider, and this can also go back to social media in some ways, is talking with your referral partners or vendors. So who are people that refer business to you regularly? Just want to let you know, the business is reopening in phase 2, or I've reopened in phase 1, and here's what's going on. Talking with your vendors, can they amplify your message, right? Hey, getting somebody like Westpaw Dog Toys to amplify and say, did you know that in downtown Hillsboro, you can get our Westpaw toys at Pumpernickel? And then that is the best. We're getting to that next, Krystal. But talking to your vendors, seeing, can they amplify your message? Talking to your referral partners, can they be retweeting, liking, sharing the post to their social accounts as well. I've gotten a lot of texts and emails from people saying like, hey, I'm doing this. Can you, you know, I'm reopening. I've got this going on. Would you mind amplifying it to your network as well? Sharing it on Instagram. I mean, I think we all know the greatest example of somebody who is a great referral partner is Kipper Lynn. If you are a business in Hillsboro, she's going to share what you've got going on. And so, you know, if you're looking for a good example locally on Instagram, she's your girl. So, you know, keeping an eye on people like that. Questions about the personalized groups? Okay. So Krystal asked a great question, which is the thing that I want to talk most about here, is pushing subscribers. How do you get people to join your email list? I think right now it's easy to say the best way to stay up to date is, you know, to stay up to date with what's going on in my business is to subscribe to my newsletter. So just give me your email address and do that. You can promote it on your social media accounts. So to back up, if you have MailChimp, for example, you can create an easy sign up form with them and then just a link, and then people can go and subscribe at that link. And so then you can share that on your social media. You can, you know, put it on your website, make sure there's a subscribe button. MailChimp can build a pop-up form for you. So people pop up, and it could even say, people can even say, you know, some sort of discount with it if you wanted to do some sort of promotion, or, you know, subscribe today and get this free download, whatever it might be. Yeah. And then, great, got that question answered. Thank you guys. But it's making sure that you're, you know, capturing their email address in every possible way, because getting your name in their inbox is the most intimate way you can be connecting with somebody. That's the currency you want. Besides the currency, the second best currency is an email address these days. And at checkout, right? So is there a way in your payment system that you can capture email addresses? Or is there a fishbowl for business cards? Or, you know, MailChimp also has an iPad app where you can have people subscribe. So maybe there's an iPad, you know, in addition to your payment method that people can subscribe for your newsletter, and give some sort of incentive for that, right? Free dog treat when you subscribe to the newsletter, free, you know, whatever, 10% off your next order, your next purchase, just show the email, but getting people to do that. So did that answer that question, Krystal?
Yes, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
You're so welcome.
So I'm wondering, Elizabeth, there are probably places where you can actually purchase email addresses.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea, or is it really like random? Yeah, you're going to get.
It's random. They don't know you. It's illegal, sort of. You know, MailChimp isn't going to like it. They're going to yell at you and could kick you off, because people will complain like, I didn't subscribe to this. I didn't ask to hear from you. Why am I getting this? And so
definite maybe.
Definite maybe. Definite hard maybe. Yeah. And, you know, and I've had past clients who have bought lists before, and then they're really upset that their conversion is terrible. And I'm like, right, but they don't know you. So we need to educate them on who you are. I think the place to be doing that these days is social media, right? Educate them and try and win them over there. MailChimp also has a plugin with Facebook, so you can have a subscribe form on your Facebook business page as well. All of this is free. just so we're very clear here, all of this is free, right? And so when it comes to your email, it's, you know, at least monthly be reaching out to people. And it doesn't have to be, like I told you, all this information you can be sharing. You don't have to do it all at once, right? So here's what we have going on. Just want to let you know, we're in phase 1. We are open. Here's what we're doing. You can share your newsletter on your social media channels as well to help amplify it. Did you get my newsletter today? You know, to help encourage people to subscribe and join your list. So I think the best way to stay up to date, you know, I would say the best way to stay up to date right now is subscribing. And then you know, if there's one channel you're really strong on, then you can, you know, I would say that as well. Like, make sure you're following us on Facebook, and make sure that you're, you know, and that you subscribe to our newsletter. And that's going to be the best way to be paying attention to know what's going on in our business. Questions about email marketing, which I could talk for another 4 hours about, but that might not be necessary today. And we only have 25 minutes left. So questions about anything I've talked about with email marketing?
So Elizabeth, in terms of content for an email marketing campaign, how much is somebody going to spend time reading? How long should it be? And should it be filled with, should it be more links to additional content, that sort of thing?
You know, typically I say, so here's something about newsletters. 20 to 30% is a good open rate. So if you're thinking, I'm only getting a 30% open rate, which means 70% of the people aren't reading it, why am I wasting my time doing this? You'll see, like, it does pay dividends. It is fascinating to watch how that works. In that, 2% is a good click rate. So I think for right now, if you're explaining a specific COVID procedure that you're offering or that you're adhering to, so like my massage therapist, for example, like click here to read the waiver before you come to your appointment. Some people may want that. Other people, like, that doesn't need to be additional overwhelming text in your newsletter. That's why I said I'm seeing a lot of clients and a lot of businesses who are kind of categorizing and bullet pointing. So if they're going to be like, we're talking about COVID and our new procedures today, it's kind of like, here's what's happening in advance. Here's what's happening while you're here. Here's what we're doing behind the scenes, and kind of like find those ways to make it easy to break it out so that it's more visually appealing to people instead of like a giant novel of text. Feel free to throw in images along the way. You know, I always say my newsletter is always 3 things and a picture of my dogs. So you're, you know, if nothing else, you're going to get some cute dogs in there. So, you know, finding those things, and everybody again is different. But I would say right now we're all overwhelmed. We're all getting a lot of information. And so making sure that it's relevant and to the point. So your subject line is our latest COVID updates, right? Like our new COVID procedures, phase 1 procedures, phase 2 procedures. So you know what you're doing. You know, as your list grows, you can also target that. So you can tag clients and just be like, these are the people coming into my, you know, coming into my business in the next month that need to know these rules, whatever that might be.
That was my next question was about the subject line, and how important is the subject line?
The subject line is helpful in letting me know what's going on, but really, if you have, it's about making sure they know who it's coming from. So don't be sneaky with your subject line, just be straightforward with it. Here's today's latest, you know, here's the COVID updates. Here is our June, you know, some of my clients, it's June news and updates from XYZ, right? Like it's a basic, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get our news and our updates today. So you can customize, you know, if this is a COVID update email, this is a COVID update email, and that's what it's going to be. My newsletter, I always, you know, it starts, it's yellow dog news, 3, whatever my topic for the month is. So just making sure it's clear and specific is what I would recommend. Don't try and do a gotcha or a vague something. That just annoys me. So, and going from 0 to 60 is hard, right? I have seen a lot of that during this time where people are home and are like, you know what I need to do is restart my newsletter. And then they're sending their newsletter every week. And I'm like, I didn't hear from you for 6 months. And now you want to talk to me every week? You know, like, you know your audience, you know who you're talking to. You know, that's what's been great about that. And I think also to that example is the chamber, who went from weekly to daily and has seen, you know, we've talked about this, the numbers have been amazing for you guys, but you're very clear in what you're doing this is what you're getting in today's email. This is the information that you need to know today. And you've also, you know, made yourself the business resource expert in Hillsboro. Like you always have been, but you definitely during COVID if you are a business owner who's trying to figure out what is going on right now, you need whatever is in the daily chamber email is going to help me figure that out or guide me to something that will get me that answer. So
I would say also that we were, you know, obviously concerned about doing daily email to folks, that we would get a lot of people unsubscribing. And to Jen's credit, I mean, it has not been where we've had people that have unsubscribed. We've actually had an increase in subscriptions, and I think our click rate and our open rate is hovering. It depends on what particular day it is. But Jen, can you chime in and name off some of those? You're on mute, hon.
We're about at 20-25% a day, and then the click rate varies depending on the content.
Right. Yeah.
You guys have been doing great. I know Jen and I have talked about your numbers, and it's awesome. And you're doing it so consistently. So, but for everybody that's not the chamber, do not start sending a daily email. I do not like you that much, and I do not need to hear from you that often. And that's too much for you, right? Like, you don't have time to be doing that. But I would encourage you to start monthly. You don't have to tell us it's going to be monthly, because something might change. You might send something at the end of this week, and then if the phase reopening changes, you may want to talk to people again in 2 or 3 weeks. So don't pigeonhole yourself in, don't shoe yourself into a specific time commitment, is what I would recommend right now. One more thing I wanted to talk about, switching gears from newsletters really quick, which, if that's okay, other questions about email newsletters we want to talk about, or should we talk about one more bonus thing? Okay. Incentives. And this is something that we had talked about on the Small Business Entrepreneur Council, was, are there incentives that you should be promoting, giveaways? You know your clients, you know what that might be. For my business right now, in my newsletter, I say, hey, if you need to talk, typically my one-time consulting, a monthly consulting call is $200. But if you just need to sit down and chat for an hour, I'm doing that at half price through COVID and all of this. And Sarah, I'm going to mute you. Maybe. It's not working. So I've done, finding what those offerings might be. Is there something that would be helpful and specific for your audience? There was a garden center by my house up when I lived in Issaquah, Washington, that did, garden bucks. So you spent $25 and you got a $5 garden buck that was good for a month from now. Can you add something to your receipts that's good for the next time? You can always do on the spot things as well. Are there packages, right? Like, my massage therapist was like, I'm just doing hour-long massages. I'm not doing 90-minute massages. I'm honoring, and she raised her rates a little bit because everything just got harder for her. And she said that, like, I'm raising my rates. The 5 massage package is still your best deal right now, and kind of pushing that. Like, don't forget, if there's package options, is it a monthly, is it a dog treat of the month or something like that? What are the specific things you can be doing to package and give something of value at a bit of a discount, but that's more of a value than, like, so many businesses are hemorrhaging money right now. I don't want you to say discount your stuff, because I want you to be your bills. So is there something of value you can give? And maybe it's talking to your vendors. If there are vendors, is there something that they can throw in right now, right? Do they have some swag? Do they, that you could do a contest with them? Are there other partners that you could work with? So just be thinking about those kinds of things, and thinking about different incentive opportunities that might be out there. Questions on that? Have you seen incentives and things work? Have you seen things done really badly that you cringed at? We don't need to call anybody out locally by name. I haven't really seen anything that has terrified me locally, but
the only thing I saw was a business that was actually charging for PPE. So they were doing a bit of an upcharge for PPE that they had to purchase.
I know who you're talking about. I saw the same email, and because we talked about it, that was kind of interesting. Just, yep, the service will be, $5 more because we need to cover PPE for you and our staff. So, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, they especially, I think, because it's the face shields, it's, you know, some of the more expensive items of PPE that that they had to incorporate into their service. That,
Right.
but yeah, I just I didn't feel badly about it. I just thought it was interesting because I hadn't seen anybody else do that.
Yeah, agreed. It was really interesting to see. So I also know when I got a pedicure last week, I way over tipped. And my husband got his first real haircut since March the other day, and he said the same. So it's like, we are also, it's like, just make sure you're over tipping those folks who were out of work for a long time. So think about, are there packages, are there special incentives and new programs and promotions you can do?
Elizabeth?
Yes.
At Pumpernickel, since we reopened, we have put on Instagram and Facebook and that bring a proof of purchase from any downtown business and receive a free doggy treat. And
I have seen that. It's so great.
yeah, and it's brought a lot of traffic to Pumpernickel.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good.
And giving away a free doggy treat, which, you know, it's something that's personal and it brings them into my store, and it's been fun. That was a good promotion for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had other businesses downtown promoting it as well? It's okay if not, but it's something to think about, right? Are there referral partner options downtown that could, hey, I'm doing this, feel free to promote it on your social. Come get your coffee here. And
typically I take a picture of the customer if I remember, and then I'll tag the company that they shopped at.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I have seen that promotion and I think it's awesome. So good. So be thinking about those incentives as well. And those just different opportunities. So what questions do you have? What did I forget to talk about today when it comes to all of this? Where are you hung up? Do you have anxiety about handling something?
So Elizabeth, maybe talk a little bit about the Christmas in July.
Yes,
and maybe
thank you.
some interesting ideas that we could incorporate in our businesses to celebrate.
Yes, thank you. So Krystal actually came up with this fantastic idea to do Christmas in July for businesses throughout Hillsboro. There will be a strong focus with the downtown partnership and downtown Hillsboro downtown together, but we will be doing this throughout the city of Hillsboro. So take advantage of this fun opportunity, and it really is. If you spend like it's Christmas in July, right? If you want these businesses to still be in business at Christmas, we need to support them now like it's Christmas. So get out there and buy. Don't shop, don't browse, don't think about it. Buy local. Get out to your businesses and do that. So I would say that's a great incentive. If you have Christmas, Christmas cookies, Christmas, get out the kitschy Christmas decorations, get out all that fun, put Christmas lights up and Santa in swim trunks and pink flamingos with Christmas lights on them, and all that fun stuff. But Christmas in July is going to be a really fun, just way to get people coming down, getting people into your store, getting people into your business. So, Craig, I'm thinking of you, and it could be, maybe it's Christmas in July is getting your Christmas family photo taken now, right? Let's do it. Let's get this. You're all home all the time. Everybody get dressed, put on some makeup, and let's do your family Christmas card now, right? It's Christmas in July. Let's do it. Like, it's fun. You're home, get it taken care of today. So are there, get rid of Christmas and holiday inventory that didn't sell last year, getting that back out. But be thinking about different fun things that you can be doing. How can you incorporate that? Maybe it's just some Christmas lights in the window. Maybe it's, something a little more involved. But at whatever level, it's iced, holiday drinks, coffee drinks that are now iced holiday coffee, the mint mocha that you sell every December, maybe it's now an iced mint mocha because it's July and nobody needs a hot, anyway, that's a whole other issue. But so just be thinking of those fun ways. I know that the Downtown Together and Downtown Partnership are also helping brainstorm. So if you're getting stuck trying to figure out how your business can do that, I'm happy to chat with you. And I know EJ and others EJ at the Downtown Partnership and others, Krystal as well, are happy to chat with you and brainstorm ideas. So, but yeah, that's just one way that we in Hillsboro are encouraging encouraging people to get out and shop and buy, spend money. So
And I
that's
think we have posters that were getting printed. Is that right, Jen? You're on mute.
They are at the chamber office right now.
Hey,
Yay!
there you go.
Christmas in July.
awesome.
Excellent. Thank you. I just had somebody ask me for one.
Oh, good. So we've got Christmas in July posters at the chamber office. You also have, you have a couple other signage pieces available at the chamber offices, I think. Some
We have,
state stuff.
yeah, we have all the COVID signs that you might need. We have the we're open sign. Yeah, any signage you might need. We also have hand sanitizer, so know that for free. So if you are in need of hand sanitizer, you can come to the chamber office. I've walked downtown and distributed some. I'm probably going to go to Orenco and just hand out bottles of hand sanitizer. It's like the weird stuff we do these days.
Right. I love it. But yes, what are you, be thinking about those kinds of things. What kind of signage do you need? The chamber probably has it or knows how to get it if you need it. So before you go reinventing the wheel, double check at the chamber first. Seriously, they're handling so much of it right now.
And it's all printed on nice stock paper, so it should be fairly sturdy for you as well. But yeah, if you want to change one out, if one's getting a little raggedy, just let us know. We can drop one down at your shop.
What other questions do you have about marketing your business? It could be very specific to your business. It could be something I haven't talked about yet today. Is there something that you've tried? Is there something that didn't work that you thought was going to be a game changer that you're wondering if it just needs a little tweaking?
Elizabeth, I have a question in regards to Christmas in July and how to promote events. So I'm working on scheduling events for each Saturday of the month. So Facebook has an option of where you can create events.
Mm-hmm.
So create one event for the entire month and list the promotions, or should I do one event for each promotion?
I am not the Facebook. Yeah, I am not the Facebook expert, so I want to just caveat with that. My recommendation would be, I would say 4 different events, but
I agree.
Okay.
But I would do one
Jen,
that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ann. Go ahead.
What was that, Jen? I missed that.
I would do 4 events because it gives you 4 different opportunities to be in front of people, and that one might get lost in the scrolls.
Okay.
But you might want to do one that has all 4, and then 4 separate ones, so that your customers can then know what to count on for that month, right? That's what I would do.
Are you doing, is Mrs. Claus coming out?
You know it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Cliff is very excited for this.
Lost some of the winter weight, so she's ready.
Well, Cliff has gotten bigger, so it's time for a new Mrs. Claus photo. So yes, I think so. I love it. I love it. I love it.
The tips, ladies. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. What other questions? I know there's some people who have been on here who have been quietly listening behind the scenes. Are there any other questions, things we haven't talked about, things you were wishing we would talk about?
So I just have a question about, the reality of this whole thing is, it's really a consumer confidence issue and virus, right? Anything, I mean, I really appreciate the conversation around, how to let your customers know that you're being safe. And I know I was at BJ's restaurant the other day, and first time back in a restaurant, and quite frankly, I was, a little nervous about what was going to be expected, how that was going to go. And it was so executed in terms of, that you just knew that they had practiced these structures and these guidelines. They had their menu was on like one of those cue numbers, and you took a picture of it with your phone, and then you download the menu. That's how you read the menu. So they didn't do any of these paper menus. They just had this what's it called? The
QR code.
Thank you. QR code. And you just took a picture, and there you had the menu on your phone.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so people are getting really inventive around it.
Yeah, QR codes are great. I mentioned I got a pedicure last week, and when we walked in the door, the guy said, click the QR code, and then I had to fill out a form with my name and my phone number for tracking, for contact tracing. And it was just like, okay, and that was so easy for them because it just compiled into a spreadsheet. You know, there was nothing needed to be touched. It was all so handy to handle that. So I talked about that a little earlier too. I kind of touched on it. Just what are the forms that you can be getting signed digitally, getting signed online, waivers that can be handled so that you can limit the amount of touch. Since we're not
And the stand around time too. People don't want to, stand around, and you don't particularly want them standing around in your shop for a long period of time in one space. Yeah, and I think it's, just helping your customers feel at ease about that, but at the same time, projecting the image of, yes, we've thought this through and we are executing this with, with detail and consistency as well.
Yeah, consistency is key. And I agree. Deanna had a great point earlier too, like make sure your signage isn't getting grimy, because that's not a great sign. If your COVID signage is all wrinkled and smeared at the seams, it does not instill confidence. So, which I was going to say is probably my dog's fault that the sign is all ripped up. So, but anyway, keep an eye on those things. You are so welcome. I will leave you with this. If you have any questions that you didn't want to answer today, or as soon as we hang up, you are welcome to reach out to me. It is Elizabeth, spelled with a Z, at yellowdogconsulting.com. And so you're welcome. If you have additional questions, feel free to email me and I'm happy to respond. Just reference this that we talked today. If you want to if you need to set up a couple minutes to chat, we can also do that. And there are some free resources on my website too, as you're trying to figure stuff out. So if you get stuck, feel free to poke around and see if there's anything there for you. But yes, happy to chat with you on your specific issues. And the Chamber has partnered with Washington County as a business recovery center, and they have a variety of experts, myself included, that they have hired to work with them. So keep an eye on the Business Recovery Center as we're learning more about that in the coming weeks. And if there's something specific you really need help with, make sure you're reaching out to the BRC and getting those answers and getting connected to the right people to help you with where you're having challenges.
Well, and if you are interested in hearing more about the BRCs, I think on Thursday, our Small Business Solutions series workshop will feature our new consultant, Bart Phillips, Nancy Lopez, who's also doing outreach to the Latinx community, and the sort of expert folks that we brought together to help provide additional resources to businesses that we're assisting through the Business Recovery Center. So I would encourage you to tune in on Thursday.
It'll be a good one.
It'll be good.
I'll be back. So
excellent. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, very much. I really appreciate it. Great tips and tricks and ideas, and at a time when, we really don't have a lot of money to put towards marketing, to make sure that we're doing it smartly and that we're, implementing these ideas. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.